Hey guys, it's Jovi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I hope you were all having a fantastic Friday night. I know I asked y'all this morning. I hope y'all day went well. Okay, listen, before we even begin, please don't forget to like this video. Like it now, because we know you're going to forget to like it later. Just like it now. Okay, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. So please follow, please subscribe on. Oh crap. Okay, whatever's fine. Please follow, please subscribe on all channels. Okay. Hope everyone, like I said previously, is having a fantastic night. Now I'm gonna give a moment for people to get in here. Today we are having a deep-ish discussion about how to overcome trauma, how to overcome childhood trauma, situations that you might have went through, not only as a child, also as an adult, right? And how those things can be linked. Okay. After last week's video, when we were discussing, after last week's video, I'm trying to see the exact name of the daggone video, because I just be okay. After last week's video, where we discussed last Friday, how did your childhood trauma affect you? It was a panel discussion. It was a great discussion, and it was really traumatic. Okay, it was really traumatic to hear about a lot of people's situations. Y'all, I was emotional last Friday when I got off of here. I ain't even gonna hold you. I think that's why I got sick last week, the weekend that just passed, because I was in here bawling. Okay, I ate some crab stuffed mushrooms. I was on a phone call, and then I was literally in here bawling my eyes out, because I'm empathetic, and it was a lot. But I also decided last week that I wanted to see how we could address those traumas, right? It's one thing to speak about them, and I want us all to be able to speak about them and communicate them and acknowledge them. That's a part of just dealing with it, right? Or a way to hopefully eventually overcome the situations that we have dealt with in our lives. But I also want to be able to, y'all know I always say, and now what, right? How do we overcome the emotional situations, emotional abuse, the trauma that we have experienced as a child, and how to work our way past it? Because at the end of the day, I thoroughly feel like, regardless of who traumatized you, whether it was a stranger danger sort of situation, or I forgot to download your stuff, girl. I'm gonna download it this week. Side note, it just came to me. I just got my computer back, so I can do that. I'll get to it this weekend. Anyway, what I was saying, whether it was a stranger danger situation, people who were the people who were closest to you, at the end of the day, an ex-husband, an ex-boyfriend, whatever the situation is, we have to, I personally feel like, be able to eventually overcome those situations. Because again, at the end of the day, we're the only one who is affected and damaged by it, right? We were speaking about Monique last week, and I continue to say, and I believe it, regardless of whatever, the trauma that these people put on you, or even she might be putting on her son, is something that she's old. She ain't gonna be here forever, right? But he's gonna be here for a long time. And I just feel like we should not give other people that much power and control over us emotionally, right? So That's that. I did look up some healing ways that we can discuss. We'll be dropping the link later on in the chat in case anybody want to come up and give their testimony, tell us how they have dealt with their trauma or dealing with their trauma, what they think about maybe the tips that I'm about to go through. And yeah, so I think I kind of wrapped up the beginning. What y'all think? Anywho, now I did not realize. Side note: I set this. Let me just say, February be messing me up. I thought this whole week that today would have been the first. That's why when everybody was saying, "What video?" I literally thought all week today was the first. I thought it was the end of the month. I really thought this was the end of the month. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I don't know what was going on with me. But when I checked it, I was like, oh my God, that's not this week. That's next week. So hopefully people will be coming in a few. I know TK is literally live right now, and that's probably where a lot of people are because it's going down over there. However, we are still on time, and we still gonna get through what we need to get through today because I think it's important. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this intro. And y'all already know the vibes. As soon as I drop the intro, then we're going to go ahead and get on with the rest of today's show. Okay, guys, and like I previously said, don't forget to like this video on your way in because you're gonna forget. All right, so just like it, and a like is very supporting of your girl. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading this article. I see no point to put it up on the screen. It's from Psych Central. Okay, and again, I went through a couple articles to see which. I love my articles. I'm so happy to have them back. But I went through a couple of articles to see what would be best. Because again, I'm not a psychologist. I ain't pretending to be one. I just want us to be able to maybe come off with a tip or two. They're giving us 10 tips here. Hopefully I give y'all, I'm gonna say hopefully, because I don't know, man. Hopefully I give y'all some personal examples and experience. It depends on how I feel in that moment. Y'all already know how I get down. Okay, so the article is entitled 10 Exercises to Heal Your Inner Child. Now, if you don't know, your inner child is the person inside of you that is hurt. Right. I had a conversation with my homegirl a couple of months ago. We were talking about, her therapy sessions or whatever. Well, shout out to all my friends who are in therapy. Shout out to them. Anyway, we were talking about her inner child, and she was like, how do I do that? I don't understand. It's like she's talking to her therapist about, attempting to heal her inner child. And it was so, even for myself, it seems so daunting, right? What do I do? How do I tap into my inner child? What do you mean by that specifically? As it sounds so accomplished, right? Maybe that's a good word for it. It sounds so accomplished, but really, it's just, I'm gonna go through the tips that they have, but really, my opinion, before we even go into the tips, it's just a lot of it is just acknowledgement and processing. That's how I see it. Acknowledgement and processing, because a lot of the times we see people all around us, we see celebrities, people that we know who do not deal with shit that has occurred to them when they were a kid, when they're a teenager and relate, or as they get old, inner child is between 0 and 9 or whatever. Those memories that you have that you could never forget. A lot of the times when they're good memories, it's one thing, but those memories that you have from when you were a little kid that people want to tell you, how can you remember that? Trust me, we remember those type of memories that really, a lot of the times, have you questioning your self-worth, have you questioning the value that you perceive into yourself, which in my opinion, again, before we even get into it, in my opinion, that trickles up, not down, because we don't get younger, we get older. That trickles up into how we feel about ourselves deep down as adults, right? How we feel about ourselves, things we will allow into our lives, things we think we deserve, because, well, if this person didn't love me, how am I expecting, these other people who aren't even related to me, or et cetera, to love me or accept me or to believe me or to whatever, right? Okay. Now, I'm going to read, okay? Inner child exercises like self-compassion, the butterfly hug, and writing letters to your younger self can help you heal your painful childhood experiences. I'll list the numbers when we get to the numbers. Inner child work teaches you to parent and nurture your wounded inner child, okay? Because a lot of the times, especially just an example of like Monique, you ain't gonna get your parent to do that, okay? Listen, it would be nice, but it ain't gonna happen a lot of the times, especially in a lot of these circumstances when it's so detrimental and they want to pretend a lot of the times that just shit didn't happen. It wasn't as bad as you thought it, as you remember it, or whatever the situation is, right? Painful early experiences often stick with us into adulthood, from being yelled at by a teacher or rejected by playmates to experiencing childhood trauma. You might even feel stuck at an age of trauma, unable to move on emotionally without first processing your past. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but they are. Inner child work is the process of reparenting the littles that were neglected, abused, abandoned, etc. during childhood. Okay, it's during these formative years between 0 and 9 that we learn about emotions, safety, and who we are in the world, and form connections. When an experience feels unsafe at that age and no adult steps in to offer comfort, the pain and shame can linger for years to come. Inner child exercises are one way we can access that younger self and offer them the comfort that's needed, they needed, but they didn't have access to at the time. Okay, now we're about to get into the nitty gritties. Okay. Number one, you know what I should have did? I was waiting all this time. I should have put up labels on the thing, but whatever. Number one, acknowledge your inner child. Okay, we have to acknowledge it. Your inner child is not a childlike personality. Rather, it's the part of your subconscious mind that experiences and still remembers your childhood moments and emotions, both good and bad. Above all, your inner child feels safer when they know you're paying attention to them. It can help to simply acknowledge them, remind them you're looking out for them, and send them your love. I think that was kind of self-explanatory. Just acknowledging that, you got shit going on in yourself. You have feelings, those things actually affected you. And the other one, number 2, says hug yourself daily. Even if the conscious mind doesn't have the words to talk about it, the body remembers trauma. Supportive physical touch can help you soothe your inner child. Holding your inner child could bring them comfort. Rock if necessary, said Godfrey. Hold tight to yourself and let the tears flow. Or just as powerful, smile big and know that healing is happening. You might try doing this for 3 minutes a day. You can also try the butterfly hug. I don't know what that is. A soothing exercise designed to help people process trauma. Okay. Oh, they tell us how to do the butterfly hug. Shout out to them. Cross your arms over your chest. Click your thumbs together to make the butterfly body. Position your fingertips just below your collarbone. Wait a minute. Okay. And tap. Okay, I can't do it right now. Tap your chest by alternating the movement of your hands, tapping with your left hand and your right hand. Take slow, deep breaths and gently observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. I can't do it right now because I have to read that again. But hopefully y'all understood what that said, because I just couldn't do it right now. Now, for number 2, again, I will tell you, I find it very healing to be able to acknowledge those things, like triggers, be able. I told y'all last Friday, it was emotional. Okay, it was not just emotional for y'all, it was emotional for me, child. I woke up the next morning sick and everything. Before I did go to sleep, I ain't gonna hold you, I was in here bawling my eyes out. I had snot bubbles. Okay, I was bawling my eyes out for y'all trauma, my trauma, the just trauma of people and women that I know or have known from online, just in general, like what we have to go through. I was in my emotions and I was thoroughly okay with that. I could have just brushed it to the side and be like, you know what? Oh, but I was okay with bawling myself to sleep and processing everything that I heard and things that I've been through myself, and being able to just, it's okay. And that's when I came up with, we're gonna talk about healing next week. That's when it really, I had conversations about it a little earlier that day, but it really hit me that after that cry that I was like, okay, we need to talk about how to heal this trauma, because it's a lot. And I got therapy, and I see a therapist, so I couldn't imagine what people, and I've seen a therapist, on and on for a couple of years, but I couldn't imagine how difficult it would be, or I recall how difficult a lot of things were before I was able to express a lot of those things to someone, right? Number 3, we're gonna keep it moving. Picture a happy childhood moment. Bring yourself back to safe, calm memories can help you soothe yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed. Very true. Can you remember the happiest moment of your childhood? Maybe it was baking cookies with your grandma or going to the zoo. Spend a few minutes remembering how it felt, the picture, sounds, smells, and feelings. Notice how it feels in your body to experience these senses of security. If you can't remember a happy moment, it's also effective to imagine one. What would you have loved to have experienced? Grab your inner child by the hand and go there together. Now, okay, you can't literally grab your inner child, but just what it could have been like. I know a lot of people, we live in a world where it's just, you just got to deal with it, let it go. Sometimes you just can't. Most times you just can't, and some people don't have great childhood experiences, right? To be able to tap into, to comfort them, right? So shit, if you got to just come up with how you would have liked it to be, then apparently just come up with how you would have liked it to be. All right, it's nothing wrong with that. Mirror work. Now, my homegirl love her some mirror work, child. Negative constructs such as "I don't matter" or "I'm not good enough" are often formed in childhood from mistreatment, abuse during these ages. Okay, mirror work can help you motivate these narratives and work on developing a loving connection with yourself. Okay. Look deeply at yourself in the mirror each day and make a powerful healing statement such as "I matter, what I want matter, I will not stay silent." Now, I will say I do this a lot, even though my homegirl is the MVP of this. Shout out to my homegirl. She's the MVP of mirror work. But she gave me the idea, I didn't get it from therapy. Well, I got it from her therapist, I guess. But, just putting, like, I have a lot of, I guess, what do you call them? Like decals. I have decals like on like the top of my mirror. My bathroom mirror is kind of large. And I got like decals on the top of my mirror for me, for my daughter, just to emphasize the importance, how important you are, right? How important you are, your value, that, you are loved, you matter. You're brilliant, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're going to change the world, things like that. Some people put Post-its. I'm not mad at the Post-its. I just can't keep Post-its on the mirror without them falling, personally. So I have my little decals because I don't even remember where I got them from. I got them from somewhere, and I just have some at like the top, above where I can see myself and fix my face. It's a big ass mirror. Above where I can see myself and, fix myself, just up there. So like just randomly when you brushing your teeth or whatever, you looking at yourself in the mirror or whatever, even if you forget to be mindful of these things, they're right there. And they make me personally, they make me smile, because again, sometimes you need to be reminded. Sometimes you need to be reminded. The world will really have you out here thinking you ain't shit. And sometimes you really have to remind yourself that you are. Number 5. So 4 was mirror work. 5 is practice self-compassion. It's not always easy to be kind to yourself. If you tend to judge yourself harshly, practicing self-compassion can help you improve your relationship with yourself. Leading researcher suggested that being kinder to yourself can reduce anxiety, stress, and depression. They give suggestions for creating self-compassionate journals, positive self-talk, maybe some self-compassion medication. No, it says mediation. My bad. Meditation, challenging your inner critic. Like if you don't, and I guess I got some examples for that. Like if you don't, like if you have a moment when you be like, well, I don't understand why, I think this happens a lot sometimes. And I'm going to use a great example because I said this before to someone. Like if you don't believe for whatever reason that you are valuable, right? Why would anybody love you? Because maybe your mom didn't love you, or maybe your daddy abandoned you and he didn't love you, or he didn't show you the love that you needed, right? Maybe a lot of the time, even if you find a great situation, right? Pay attention because it happens a lot. Even if you might find a great situation, right? You'll run from it because deep down, whether you want to admit it or not, and we have to be able to admit these things, right? You may not feel like you are worth that. You are worthy of anybody to love you to that extent. I feel like that's how a lot of people, women in particular, end up in bad situations and not knowing how they got there, right? Because all these men ain't horrible, right? But a lot of the times, the horrible treating ones, the ones who give you the same energy as, the neglectful dad or the abuse, whatever, are what we think we are deserving of. So when we are compassionate with ourselves, we understand that that's not, those feelings are valid. You have, they're not that they're valid as in you ain't shit. They're valid as in you experienced this shit as a child, and that's why you're going through these things. That's why you may not feel deserving of more, deserving of better, and willing to settle for bullshit that is really and truly beneath your child. Okay? So practice self-compassion. It's okay. It's okay. And when you do something, and it is not for the betterment of you, you don't necessarily have to beat yourself up. When I say this a lot as well, you don't have to be the person you were yesterday, a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. Okay. You can decide to say, you know what? I'm going to give myself grace. We give everybody in the world grace, but we don't give ourselves grace. And it's okay to say, you know what? I need to give myself grace. I need to know that I'm probably acting this way or rejecting this or whatever because I don't feel worthy of that. And instead of beating myself up for not feeling worthy of that or whatever, just understanding that that's some trauma you got to deal with, and beating yourself up about it is not going to help you. Beating yourself up about it and or denying it or rejecting or is not going to help you. It's actually going to make you feel worse. Like it's like how depression kind of works, right? You keep going and going and going, and the next thing you know, you're in a hole, not in an actual hole, but an emotional or mental hole somewhere, and kind of dug yourself into that hole, right? Fill that hole up with dirt, girls. All right, number 6. I'm trying to think, have I done this? I don't know. Anyway, number 6 is write a letter to your inner child. Okay. Try writing a letter to your little, offering the words of support you needed in childhood. Don't delay what you need any longer. Okay. State the words in your journal and read them out loud. Read the words you wish you would have heard with love, kindness, and compassion. If you're right-handed, use your left hand or vice versa to let your inner child express themselves with a story or a picture. You can also converse with your inner child by altering between your right and your left hand. This non-dominant hand technique is explored in depth, and they talk about some book. Well, the book is named The Creative Journal. I'm going to give you the book name because it contains more than 50 prompts that help you release your feeling, explore your dreams, and solve problems. Okay. I ain't even trying to sell nobody's stuff, but it sounds like a good thing. So basically they're saying, write a letter to yourself, acknowledging, and saying and demonstrating what you wish you would have been able to experience. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. 7. Identify your emotional triggers. What makes you instantly upset, angry, or fearful? Okay. Can you trace them back to negative experiences in childhood? Now, if we all honest and we sit back and we think enough and we journal and we writing down these things, and we really being able to, if we tap through 1 to 6, be able to open up, we probably can track a lot of this shit back to childhood, right? Perhaps your dad never truly listened to you. So now you feel rejected when your partner is too busy to pay attention. When you identify where this pain originated, reassure your inner child that they are safe, loved, and heard. And once you know those things, you are able to see it for what it is. Okay. Once you are able to say, I be doing this and this is why. Because of this trauma that I experienced, and understanding we had no control over none of that shit when we were young. We were just kids being kids. 9, inner infant meditation. In general, practicing meditation regularly can help people heal from past traumas. Research suggests that it reduces stress and the effects of childhood trauma and improve health outcomes in adults. Inner infant meditation is a powerful meditation developed by somebody, a pioneer of inner child work and author of some book. This meditation, you go back to reclaim your infant self and bring yourself home. I'm not clicking on the shit. They have a link. I'm not clicking on it. 10. We're at 10 now. He needed anyway. 10. Continue to educate yourself. There are numerous books and online resources to help you in your inner child journey, as mentioned above. Okay. Offering insight into how trauma affects the child and adult self, plus ways to heal the wounded inner part of yourself. These simple home techniques can help support the deeper work to complete to complete with a therapist in sessions where you can begin to reconstruct your sense of self to say, I am enough or I do matter. Okay? This is. I'm trying to read what this say. Okay, I'm going to read this. It say next steps. The Department of Veteran Affairs report that between 15 and 43% of children experience at least one traumatic event. Of these, up to 50% of girls and 6% of boys will develop post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, people with a history of repeated abuse or neglect may experience complex trauma as adult. If you experience trauma as a child, particularly if it involved your parents or living situation, inner child work might be right for you. This therapeutic technique allows you to work through your coping mechanisms you developed along the way, so you can finally connect with your true authentic self. If you have experienced a trauma, please consider contacting a mental health professional, because Joe is not a mental health professional. Okay, I'm just giving you some ideas. There are many effective therapies for trauma to help relieve post-traumatic stress. If you think inner child work can help you, you might reach out to a therapist specializing in this technique. Okay, all right. Whew. Hold on. So I'm going to jump into some of these comments. I think I said a lot. Let me drink some water, child. I dropped the link in case anybody want to come up and give me their opinions. It was a lot said. Okay. It was a lot said. And again, at the end of the day, the purpose of me making this video was to give some, you might not want to do all 10 steps. You might find some other steps. I don't know. But just in starting to deal with the trauma in your lives, in our lives, right? Because I really do feel like the trauma that we've experienced when we were a kid, whether we realize it or not, if you are going through crazy shit now, whatever, a lot of, it probably is associated with something or some things that occurred in your childhood that you may not want to just even deal with or address, right? You cannot pray this shit away. Okay, you cannot pray it away. You have to be able to deal with what occurred, acknowledge it to yourself, fuck anybody else, really acknowledging it to yourself, not needing your feelings and your experiences do not need validation by the people who violated you in whatever way you were violated. You do not need their validation. You need your own validation. You need the validation of that young person inside of you who is still hurt about whatever occurred. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to get into these comments. I hope you are all enjoying the video. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on my other social media platforms. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. And welcome to the Beauty School, child. Now we're going to go through these comments, and, then we're going to probably get up out of here. Okay? Hey, Bree. Thank you so much, Bree. She said, please share this live for the healing journey. And like the video. Somebody said it was just talking about me in a good or bad way. I don't know. Sharita said this is needed. Thank you so much. Sharita said, why is it you think that mothers don't want to accept that they didn't raise their child and can't receive the love we try to give them? You think it's guilt? I don't know. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's they feel like they were raised worse. Maybe. But at the end of the day, like, I want to reiterate, like, you don't need your mother's validation. You know what the fuck happened. You don't need your mother, your father. They don't need to acknowledge, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're waiting for them to acknowledge, sure, you're going to be waiting for a long fucking time. Okay? You gonna be, especially if your parents are black parents, you might be waiting for a long fucking time. The only person who needs to acknowledge your suffering is you. At the end of the day, it might sound good, but even if they acknowledge it, right? Honestly, even if they would acknowledge it, if you aren't able to acknowledge and deal and cope with it, it's for naught. It's not like it's gonna be a oh, I said I'm sorry. Like, they can say that, that's great. That's great. But if your life is still, it's not going to just magically, it's not just going to be a magically change. Now your life is better because your mom acknowledged that she chose a nigga over you, or she let something happen to you, or because your dad abandoned you, or your dad just wasn't there emotionally. That just acknowledging that shit ain't gonna change the behavior or the inner destruction that it caused. Right? Them saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," that don't, that's why I'm more concerned with, personally, from my experience. They can't, I know people who parents acknowledge, parents ain't acknowledged, but at the end of the day, you have to deal with this shit. Whether they could die tomorrow, are we going to be suffering forever because they didn't want to acknowledge that she was a shit mom, so he was a shit dad, or he did some shit. Anyway, she said, my friends tell me to let it go. I'm not going to say let it go per se. I'm going to say stop. All you're doing is hurting yourself. And I said this about Monique's son. If you keep trying to force somebody, because if she just say, all right, that happened, all right, that's not going to change nothing about how you feel, right? It's you who have to change, who have to understand that for whatever reason, your mom ain't give a fuck. For whatever reason, she let that shit happen. We don't even need to figure out the reason. Even if you figure out the reason, okay, that's cool. Like, okay, she was raised fucked up, so she thought this shit was normal. He was raised fucked up, or they just fucked up. But at the end of the day, the specifics of it, they have to deal with that. They have to deal with that or not. And it's not going to, I don't think that that your parents just acknowledging the shit is going to fix the ramifications of their actions. It's not going to fix the part of you. It's the part of you that needs her to acknowledge it. You don't need her to acknowledge it. You need yourself to acknowledge it. Like, for real. And because you want her to acknowledge it so she can take care of your inner child. So she can make you feel make your feelings valid. But your feelings are already valid. That's the point. That's the point. Your feelings are already valid. You don't need her to give your emotions and your experiences validity. That's already there. She said, thinking about my grandmother lifts my mood instantly. Me too. I ain't even gonna hold you. Me too. Please get the likes up. I know it ain't a bunch of people up in here, but get these likes up, right? She said she encouraged her daughter. She said her grandmother was her saving grace. On the spot said these are amazing tips. Thank you so much. Like I said, I was looking. I was like, I need to find some tips. She said she likes the letter idea. These are great tools. Thank y'all. Thank you. She said, wait, we live? Yes, we are live. And we were just talking about the inner child. You are late. She said, thank you, because she gaslights me. I'm getting it now after this video. This is the eye opener. Yeah. She gonna have you feeling self, you know what I'm saying? She gonna have you feeling and questioning what the fuck you know. And that's gonna have you in a going into turmoil, and questioning your own fucking sanity. Killing yourself. For what? I swear to you, for what? Because if you're expecting people to give you what you want, you are sadly mistaken. If they riding this long with it, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off with it. And the only person who's damaged and bothered by it or feeling a way about it is you. You're only hurting yourself. Because now you're questioning your self-worth. Because my mom didn't. Maybe she just couldn't. Maybe she just didn't want to. Maybe she just didn't want to. That's not a you thing. That's a her thing. That's what you got to keep reminding yourself, especially when these things happen when you were a child. That's not a you thing. That's a them thing. And stop beating yourself up about it. Because again, that's a them thing. If they weren't accountable then, chances are they ain't going to be accountable now. I'm just saying, chances are these motherfuckers ain't going to be accountable, girl. Jesus, she needed. I'm glad. Like I said, at least if one person can get something out of this, I'm happy. She said, I would like to click the link, but the Pisces in me would have me crying. Girl, it's all right. I told y'all last week I was in here bawling after we got off the live. I thought I was okay. I went and made me some crab stuffed mushrooms with my leftover crab meat. Girls, I thought I was okay. And then I turned the TV off, and you know how you just sitting there for a little bit, and next thing I know, bawling and boogers. It was a thing. And you know what? I'm okay with saying that. I'm okay with saying that. And it's not just going to happen like, things are not just going to, well, I'm acknowledging it and it's okay. And it's overnight. No, it's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. And it's okay. And it's okay. Because at the end of the day, we're fucking human. She said, yes, my sanity. Listen. I know I've been in situations. I know people. Y'all know I'm a people person. So I've experienced just dialogue and hearing things, and my own experience as well. But like, you can't. I need to reiterate. I hope I said that right. Reiterate that. Now you are accountable for you. Now you are accountable for you. You can't make these people. And again, even you can hope, but even if they do, it ain't gonna change shit because they still who they are. You are the one who need to work on you and making sure you are healed and are able to deal with the negative ramifications of what those things did to you emotionally. Now I'm gonna pull up Brie.
Hey, the only reason I'm not on camera is because I'm prepping my hair because I'm about to wash it. But
I just washed it.
I was like, dang, her hair look good. Let me wash my hair. But you're so right. The healing journey is a you journey. It's not a you heal. Now you can force your healing on other people. We have to understand people have to heal when it's their time. But if they see you're happy and you're healed, self-awareness, acceptance, love, and journey, I promise you they will do the same. It's like a reciprocation process, but expecting people to be on your level is beyond wild. That's why I didn't understand a lot of people feeling some type of way about Shalom and Monique.
Yeah.
To me, that was so weird. I'm like, she's already healed. He's not healed yet. You can tell he's not healed because he kept reverting back to the past, to the past, to the past. And then he left out a lot of things dealing with the present as to why the future is going to be muddy. And at the end of the day, something my father said, and I will keep saying it. You know, I was here first. We have to understand some
Yeah.
people was just here first. They're set in their ways.
Yep.
They're going to view it how they view it, and you have to love them at that. And if loving them at that means you only come around once so often, so be it.
So be it.
I will never understand people putting themselves in situations where they have to fight, lash out. As grown people, it's one thing when you're a child, it's another thing as an adult. I've
Yeah.
seen it happen in families so many times where people only came around for the family reunion. I'm not upset with that. I understand that because sometimes that one setting is enough, or a special gathering, but I will never understand. And it's just maybe because I view things differently. I always put myself first. I will never apologize for that because I know when you're selfish about your intentions, when you're selfish about your boundaries, and when you're selfish about your standards, life is good.
Yeah.
Life is going to be life, but life is good. And I can honestly say, since I've started that journey, it's been blissful. But y'all get these likes up, share this video. We're starting the healing series beauty school drop in. So show Jovi some love. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Drop it back down.
All right. Bye. Like that's my brother getting on my goddamn nerves. I call him big. Okay. Like I said, if y'all don't want to come up, it's cool. But like Bree said, Bree reminded me of someone that I know as a family member. So I know a lot about their shit. Not my brother. He's just harassing me for whatever. I don't know. But this person had a lot of, I guess, issues with their dad, right? I have a lot of people in my family who have issues with their dad for different reasons, you know, and it all plays out differently. I like watching it. Not that sounds weird, but I like to read people and like to understand things and understand how this sort of behavior affects your child 20, 30 years later, right? So I know someone who had issues with their dad, and just like their dad acknowledging some of the shit that they do, right? And they spent years trying to get them to see until one day they just decided, after discussing all of this shit, it was just decided, like, you cannot make them see. You know, you cannot make this person see. They are who they are. You know, their personality is who their fucking personality is. It's not really going to change for you. That is how they think. They know what they know, and you can't tell them no different. You know what I'm saying? They know what they know, and you can't tell them no different. You're arguing with who they've been their entire fucking lives. They're not going to be accountable for that shit. And she just stopped. And she's okay with it. She just stopped. She's like, you know, she still love her dad. She hit him up every once in a while, you know, to say, hey, hope you're okay. Great. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? But she stopped putting the effort or hoping for him to not be who he has been for 60 something years of his life. He ain't gonna get 65, 70 and fucking decide to change his personality for you. That's just who he is. She laid it all out, and he acted like what she said, like she didn't even say what she said. Would have drove the child crazy. Why? Because you here trying to get your point across, make him understand when he's not going to. He's just not going to. Because like Bree said, they were here first. That's who they are. And everybody can't change who they are. And that's okay. That's not a you thing. That's not a you. We had to really be like, yo, that's not a you thing. You laid it all out, and he wholeheartedly act like he didn't see what you said. That's not a you thing. That's a him thing. And you trying to continue to try to make something what it's not is only affecting you. It's only affecting how she deals with life and fucking even her relationships. Always trying to garner fucking approval. But since she's able to deal with that aspect and be like, you know what? Okay. She's able to understand that she doesn't have to work to try to make somebody fucking love her. Because in her mind, she been working like a fucking dog her whole life trying to make this nigga who was supposed to be the first person who love her. And not to say that he don't love her, but he wasn't able to love her the way she needed him to be, way that she needed him to, or make her feel safe or protected or whatever the fuck. And that shit was playing out in her fucking relationships and in her fucking life and how she was dealing with everything. And when she was able to work to deal with that shit and work through that shit, she don't give a fuck about nothing. She a beast. Hey, Bree.
I'm sorry, I had to come back because you said a word right there. It makes me think about the Risa Tisa situation, why so many men and women were connected to the story to where they were compelled to sit 8 hours and watch that, because I only watched the two and I knew what was up. And then I watched his one that made it to Twitter and I was like, oh, I can already tell how this went. So many people think they have overcome something until the overcoming is put to the test. And I think of course, we have a natural ability to yearn for love, but we know what love is. Yeah. And I'm going to keep pushing Jennifer Lewis's book about how
I would buy that book.
Went on her love journey because it spoke so many volumes. I honestly cannot tell people how it feels to have a piss poor relationship with your parents, or you're so traumatized by something someone did you can't move on. I don't know what that's like, because I'm one of those ones like, oh my God, it happens, and then tomorrow it's rainbows and butterflies, because I can like permanently ice you out and you're dead to me. You're a walking dead person. Yeah. So she said in her book, you have to find self-love. You have to have vulnerability for yourself, but you can't stay stuck in it. And I think a lot of people are stuck in it and they think they're healed until something comes along. I think that Monique's situation proved that. This Risa Tisa situation proved that. And the outpour of people being vulnerable, I agree, be vulnerable, but I also want us to do the work. Doing the work means going to the counselor. I'm happy you said that. Doing the work means sitting with a therapist. Doing the work means, you have to get back out there and date and just be like, the dating scene, until you get in a groove where you understand what you like and don't like. Because I can wholeheartedly say with my chest, the Risa Tisas of the world was just so lonely and desperate and felt like they had no other options. They was willing to settle. If he had not got caught up with that, lady of the night, she would have still been there, holding it down, doing 5-10 years or whatever. So it's really unfortunate. And sometimes we just have to just understand we made it out alive. We made it out with no attachments and build ourselves back up. So you're definitely right about that. It just made me bring a word. And to those who are feeling like, oh my God, hit the link, because your testimony and your story might free somebody. It might liberate them, because so many people, after last week, I said, Jovi, you need to do a healing series. And
I told you it was you and my homegirl. Y'all texted me at the same time. I was like, yeah.
Great minds think alike. And don't forget the full moon is tomorrow. So it might feel like you're probably going through some emotions and like, I don't know why they're so grand, baby. That's because the portal is open. Okay, we have the full moon tomorrow. Set your intentions. do your affirmations, do your prayer work, get that exercise in, because again, so many of us choose the wrong partner because our mind was clouded. But I'm dropping back down for the final time. Share this video, hit them endorsements. Bye, Jovi.
Bye. Where are we? Okay. Sanity. Hey DC, how are you? Sharita says she saved the video. Again, Bree said the full moon is tomorrow, so get y'all stuff. Yo, y'all know this is so bad for me to say, but I'm gonna say it. Y'all see I have all my stuff here, my little sage and all this bunch of stuff. But I have my stones over there. I like to keep it close to my bed. I was missing a stone for the longest. Why I found that shit like on Wednesday. I've been missing that stone for like a year. I found it underneath. Well, why the fuck I found it on Wednesday? I was like, look at this. Look at this. I'm going, I had to clean it or whatever. So I'm gonna try to set it up for it to get all recharged and everything. But I was like, oh my God, I just thought I would mention that since Bree said set your affirmations and do your work. She said, that's me trying to get them to see, listen, you're going to kill yourself. They're not going to see it. The only person who needs to see it is you. Honestly, the only people who need to acknowledge it is you, because you keep fighting for these people to see, and they not gonna. And that's okay. And that is okay. The only person who needs to see it and deal with it is you. You could try to make them and, but She said, me and my oldest daughter have two different versions of her childhood. Well, Camphor, it doesn't take, okay, though, he was just checking on me. Okay, I'll call him when I'm finished. A lot of people and their parents have two different recollections and of things that happen in their childhood, because again, perception is everything. Her perception of what occurred and your perception of what occurred, so I don't know. She said, I understand I can't fix them. This makes so much sense. I'm going to get her book. Yeah, get her book, because I'm going to get that book, because this is not the first time Bree done brought that book up. So go ahead and get that book. Because it sounds like a really good book. And I know she went through a lot when she was, and listen, like I said, you can be damaged forever. I ain't here. You can be damaged forever. Or you can make an effort to work on yourself so you aren't. To not need, because again, they'll mess around and die. Something that happened to you, from a stranger danger situation. You can't let that shit affect you forever. They are off in jail or living their own life. They ain't even fucking think about you. But you are broken and traumatized forever because of them and they bullshit. They don't deserve that. Your mama don't deserve that much power over you. That's how I feel. Your mother don't deserve, even if they don't want to acknowledge it, it's okay. I swear to you, it's okay. I swear to you. Because even if they do acknowledge it, it's not going to change the feelings that you have built up because of it. The only person who can change those things are you. Even if they acknowledge it, even if my cousin was able to get her dad to acknowledge the shit, it wasn't going to change how she felt deep down. Oh, he admitted it. So now what? That was gonna make you feel better. That was gonna make you stop picking the dude that you have to prove your worth to. No, it wasn't gonna change anything. The only person that could be able to change how she dealt with, felt, or whatever, or how she how those things translated into her as her life, into her life, because them motherfuckers living their life. They lived it already. They damn near out of here. I'm just saying. The only person who can translate that into a better them is you. Them saying, oh yeah, well, I did that, ain't gonna fix nothing. Ain't gonna fix nothing. Cause like we were just talking, look at Monique that admitted to the son a million times, and I kept asking that what he want, because she admitted it, and he still ain't over it, because it's not about her admitting it, it's about him and just accepting it and understanding that her neglect ain't had nothing to do with him. That was her shit. That's why I kept saying, she keeps saying she's 16. That's her shit. You're trying to force her to be an adult when she ain't capable of being it. You're trying to make her do these things when that's why I keep asking. That's why I kept asking. And now what? What do you want from these other people? Because these other people it's not gonna do what you think it's gonna do. Even if they say, yeah, I did that. Yeah, your childhood was like that. It's still not gonna change how you deep down feel about yourself, because of, or see life, or accept bullshit, or whatever the fuck, based off of those experiences. Just because they said sorry, don't change shit. She said the full moon is tomorrow. I will have them by my window charging, girl. I can't overthinking, but my mom and my dad is, I can't get over anything, but my mom and my dad is hard one for me. They didn't want to be parents. This show is helping me tremendously. You got your answer right there. You answered your own question. They just didn't want to. They didn't want to. A lot of people, parents ain't want to. If we're going to keep it a buck, they don't want to. That's not a you thing. That's not a you thing. That's a them thing. They ain't never going to acknowledge that shit. But you just answered your own question. They didn't want to. Is that your fault that they brought you into this world and they ain't want no fucking kids? No, that was whoever told them that they had to have this baby that they didn't want to fucking have. Their resentment or whatever, that wasn't a you thing. That's a them thing. And I'm sorry about that. But that's not a you thing. It probably have you feeling unwanted, or, or having to, that's the shit you got to work on yourself. So you ain't out here feeling unloved and feeling worthless and feeling, you know what I'm saying? It's not a them thing. They already did the damage. It's not for them to fix. It's for you to fix. Because they still going to be on their own shit, acting like it ain't what it is. Especially if they Christian, child. I'm just saying. I think one issue is when the parent wants to be in the child's life, but wants to dismiss. Sincerely said, I think one issue is when the parent wants to be in the child's life, but wants to dismiss where she or he fell short. Listen, you don't have to let people into your life like that. I just told you a great example of people that I know who you can choose when you answer that phone. That's why you can choose when you don't have to deal with their poison. That's a part of dealing with your own trauma and understanding that they trigger you. You don't have to deal with them shits. You call them every once in a while. You okay? Good, great. And you don't have to. You don't even have to argue about it. at the point, like I said, you don't even have to argue about it. I told you, my fucking cousin was about to lose her fucking shit behind something that she was never gonna get acknowledged. Wholeheartedly, she wrote him a fucking letter, and the nigga act like she said the opposite of what she said to him in that goddamn letter. Was she supposed to spaz out and like, that shit would have gave you a fucking stroke. For what? That told you everything you need to know. And you're just able to, you could, if you don't want to just cut them off completely, you don't have to engage. Like Bree said, the people who pop up when they pop up, I'm a firm believer of popping up when I feel like it and distancing myself from people who I feel wish me no well or don't want to, or not even wish me no well, who just trigger me. Whatever, you triggering me, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. For what? I'm just gonna get mad, and I want to. I'm good on it. Keep it to yourself. Ain't no beef, ain't no animosity. I'm just acknowledging that you just can't do it. I'm not mad about it. You just can't do it. And that's cool. But I can't act like, because it's kind of crazy to pretend like that shit ain't fucking, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to. You don't have to engage. You really don't have to give all of that emotional, it would be nice, but did they give it to you? No. So why do you have to do it to them? Because they're your parent? You were their child. What the fuck they did? Hey, Kimberly, how are you? Kimberly just joined the chat. Sincerely also said, if your parents weren't there to guide you as a child, it's harder to allow yourself to trust them as an adult. Like you said, they're stuck in their ways. So as the child, you're taking a risk. Listen. If they weren't there for you then, they probably can't pull it off now. Everybody don't grow and mature that way. It would be nice, but it's not the reality of human nature. How much people that really grow and mature? People get older and they get stuck in their ways. And just because it's your parent don't mean it's a fucking difference. They are who they are. She said she sent me a kiss ship. Thank you so much. How much? I didn't even check it. I saw my brother sent me a message. Thank you so much. Hold on. Oh, I got two. I didn't even see it, y'all. Thank you so much. Sharita sent my Cash App. She said, thank you. I appreciate you. Heart emoji. Thank you so much. And we got another one. I don't know why it didn't come up. We got another $5 Cash App. The other one was $20, if I didn't mention it. We had a $5 Cash App. She said, for forgiving my mom and learning from her mistakes. That's a beautiful thing. That's from Canva, I believe. That's from Canva, I believe. Thank you so much. Thoroughly appreciate it. I did not see the shit come up. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Just, like I said, it would be nice, but it ain't about them. It's about you and your inner healing. And I hope at the beginning of this video, we went over 10 steps that I found in how to heal your inner child. And I hope that's helpful because, and I'll restate, I firmly believe a lot of our situations that we are in now in our love life, even dealing with our children sometimes, are a representation of what we have not dealt with from when we had no control. Right? I heard somebody say, I think it was a TikTok. It was a TikTok. Y'all know I don't be on TikTok, but somebody posted it on YouTube, so I saw it. I saw somebody say, the real the test of motherhood, the test of parenthood is when your child doesn't need you no more, if they fuck with you or not. Right? That's the real test of parenthood. Like, that's why I say it is not our job to, and I think a lot of the times people are only fucking with their parent knowing that they shouldn't, because they're hoping that they'll acknowledge some shit one day. And they won't. And it's not going to take away from you if they don't. But if you don't acknowledge your shit, that's definitely going to take away from you. That's definitely going to take away from you. Kimberly said, I agree. I was thankful to be in a 2-parent household. They made 40 years together this past December. A blessing. Shout out to you. Thank you. Yeah, I just finished washing it. I was like, you know what? I was gonna tie it down. I was like, I didn't wash this shit. I'm gonna show y'all my braids. It's still wet in there too, so don't mind me. Hey, mommy. That's my mama. Yeah, so all right. So I think that's it, because ain't nobody else could seem to be coming up. And we had a lot to say today, okay? It's 9:00. We've been on here for an hour and 10 minutes. And I'm kind of hungry. I ate after I came on live earlier. I made me some tacos. Ooh. But that was like 8 hours ago, honestly, because we got off alive at like 1, 2 o'clock. That was like 8, 9 hours ago, and I have not eaten anything since. She said, I can't these aren't even French braids. These are 2-strand twists. These are French braids. These are 2-strand twists. These are 2-strand twists. They gonna stay like this for about at least until like Monday, girl. It's gonna stay just like this. Sharita said, great show. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So I'm probably gonna come tomorrow at noon. I'm trying to be more consistent. Plus, I was like it's like I had a head cold the other day. Like, I went and got my computer fixed yesterday and Thursday, but like I woke up yesterday feeling like shit. I was in here though. They talking about there is a stomach virus going around the Northeast, child. I don't know if I got it. I don't be outside like that to be catching stomach viruses, but I did go and get my computer fixed. I was outside for a minute, so maybe because I woke up yesterday, I'm fine now, but I normally get through sicknesses fast, right? I know I got a cold. That shit don't last for a week. It lasts for like 2 days, a day. So I woke up yesterday. It was like hurling, and my head was. I didn't even eat until like 6, 7 o'clock last night. That's how messed up I was. So, but I woke up today feeling great. My head don't hurt. I ate. Okay, I ate. I'm about to eat again. So I feel good. Nonetheless, I hope y'all are all having a great night. She said, I'm going to replay the entire thing. I just came late. Feel better, Jovi. Yeah, at the beginning, we were talking about the steps to take to some steps. Okay, you don't have to follow 1 through 10, but some steps to be able to heal your inner child. And now I'm going to go because I got to call my brother back because he done called me talking about, I'm checking on you. So now I got to see how he doing. Anywho, I love you all. I appreciate you. And give me some ideas on what touching topic y'all would like me to discuss next Friday. Y'all can leave it in the comments. If you're part of the replay gang, y'all can send me a DM on the Instagram or the TikTok if you want to. And now I'm done. And as always, I hope you live your life like it's golden. I hope you live your life like it's golden, because there's no other way to live it.